Welcome to the Browbins, to another episode of Andi Mack Chat. Here we go. I think the last time we reviewed Andi Mack, I don't even know if this channel was called the Browbins. We actually got 2 episodes, which is probably good because I thought I had this whole weekend planned out, but then I forgot I was telling you I was doing 10 videos, not 8. So since I'm doing 2 Trek videos, 2 time travel videos, and then Andi Mack and Raven's Home, and I'm doing trailers to them. Well, trailers to my channel, not Andi Mack. But, 8, I forgot that I still need to do 2 more. So, instead of talking about both Andi Macks, I am going to keep the Andi Mack separate. Because even though it's a 1-hour episode, I'm still going to only be talking about the first one. In DuckTales, when DuckTales first came back, from March, there was 2 when they were doing episodes every day. The first 2 episodes I did, episode 9 and 10 of season 2 of DuckTales. I did them separate. Anyway, let's talk about Andi Mack. So, we have 3 storylines. First storyline, we have Jonah and Cyrus, talking about camping overnight at Cyrus's house. That's what they decide to do. Later that night, they come to the backyard and, they have a whole tent set up and they're waiting for the meteor shower. And fortunately, we don't know when it's going to come, so Cyrus is extra prepared and he gets the comfy chairs out and they like to sit and relax in comfy chairs, right? So they're in the tent eating food. They lock themselves inside the tent, that they can't fix the zipper. But that's not their only problem. Their other problem is that they brought food, and they're living in a state and country where there's a lot of food animals, who like food and they can smell you. And they could hear a bear outside. So fortunately, after it was gone, they tried to get out and they were locked in. It was thick enough to put a knife through and cut a hole. So then they took the food out and threw it over the fence. That's a waste of food. That can also attract mice, and that's not the way to get rid of it. If you're living in a place where there's animals, I would just throw the food in the garbage. However, you would want to if you were dealing with bears, you'd try to get rid of it as quick as possible, but I'd still throw it in the garbage. So anyway, once they get out, then the meteor shower happens, and they barely don't miss it, and so that's good. Story number 2, well, Buffy is reunited with CJ. He already has a girlfriend, but, they're still good friends. Sorry if I keep playing with my hair. It's getting long again. So, CJ and Buffy, CJ's going on a race, and Buffy wants to do it with him because she wants to try to beat him, and he wants to try to beat her, and he tries to convince her to go in the next race. But she wants to go now this weekend, right? So over the weekend, they go on races, and when they get to their last race, they decide not to race, but they want to finish the race within 4.5 hours. Eventually, after racing for 2 hours, Buffy's so exhausted and she's lying on the bench, and he decides to cross the finish line with her. And so that's what he does, even if it takes 7 hours and 15 minutes. That's the slowest you could ever race in a 4.5 hour race. They didn't beat the 4.5 hour race, but they enjoyed their time together and they both crossed the finish line. It's not about winning, guys, and it's not about beating a goal. I mean, you want to beat your goals, but, sometimes it's just about finishing the race, even if you lose. I still got 2 gold medals, and that was the end of that storyline. Number 3, the last storyline, was that Cece was getting excited about all the wedding and doing all these pictures of puppies and stuff. And the next day, it's at Cece's birthday, and they go out to celebrate. And unfortunately, they have these looks on their faces when she's talking about the wedding, and she finds out that they're not getting married, and Cece is disappointed. And unfortunately, right when she figures it all out, the customers come in and the workers come in and sing happy birthday to her. Because sometimes if you go to a special restaurant like Olive Garden or Pizza Pie, they'll give you something for your birthday, and it's fun. They sing happy birthday and they give her a firework birthday cake, and all she does is she flips it upside down and puts it in the cake. She burns the cake. All 200 people were celebrating, and she just made a scene in front of everyone and left. Because she found out Bex and Bowie were not getting married. Kind of silly. Anyway, and then she was not even mad. She was even worse. She pretends that Bex doesn't exist. And so Amber took her to a yard sale. Well, not a yard sale, but a yard with a lot of things that you could just break and hit and everything, and it helped Andi get through it, and it was fun. And so Andi decided to take Bex, not Bex, She said it wasn't for Bex. I mean, she tried to take Cece, to the yard where she could just break stuff and get over her big, big hatred against Bex, and that's what she did. And then after her time smashing everything, Cece felt all better, and she didn't pretend that Bex didn't exist anymore. She was happy. Amber messing things up, and she wanted to know what happened, and she's tired of Jonah sending same 6 emojis. So this time Amber's actually in love with him, so that's why she can't break up with him. And Andy's okay with this. Yeah, I think the scene just ends there. And so that's it for Andi Mack. Now we gotta talk about the trailer for the next Andi Mack, which I will also be posting later today as well. So the trailer, 3 things are happening. There's some yard sale problem. I don't know how to explain it. It's too comprehensible. But there's a yard sale problem, and Andi and her friends decide to come up with this idea of having a yard sale where everything is free. And a cop starts to come in, and they think they're going to get in trouble. And, they don't know what to do unless they're already in trouble. So we'll find out if they get to go to jail next episode, which will also be posted today. Bowie and Bex are just having a good time being together but not being married. And they have this gift that they got, and it's from Cece. Third storyline, Bex is trying to make up for what she told Cece, and it's not going well, and Cece will never forgive her, and it's not easy, but it makes the situation even worse. And so that combines those 2 storylines together. They're trying to make up, and it's not going as well. Just going to end the video. So Lightning Mills is out. All for one, and one for all, for one, and one for all. Now is the time to seize the day. Now is the time to seize the day. Now let us see. On the Brattlebins, Lightning Mills is out. Bye.